Hey guys, back with another what I wore last week. I've got I've got a couple of new things here, and I've got a couple of likely declutters. So I've been trying to wear some stuff that I haven't worn a huge amount, and I'm trying out all my collection to see if I've got anything that's like a duplication and all the rest of it. Just because, I just don't have enough space, I've just got so many perfumes. But let's see, where shall we start? Let's start with one that's definitely not going anywhere. I love this perfume. I have the body spray of this as well. There is a dog howling outside. Sorry if you can hear the ridiculous amount of noise. It's literally like I get out my iPad to film and the whole neighbourhood just goes, oh, we've been quiet all day. Let's just wake up and be really loud so Cass can't hear herself think. This is such a fabulous, clean, fresh, delicious perfume. This is Born Lovely. There you go, if you can see it, from Sarah Jessica Parker. This is by far my favourite of the entire Lovely collection. This is a clean, wet laundry kind of smell. Perfect if you are the sort of person who actually goes to the gym, or perfect if, like me, you just like to wear a really fresh scent occasionally, especially like first thing in the morning, like if you haven't had time to shower yet, or if, like me, this weekend you've got time to yourself and you're just being super lazy. I wore this last weekend, to be fair. So Born Lovely. I love this bottle. It's this like glorious pale grey glass with this very light pink writing. I took off the bow because I'm not really a bow sort of girl. I just call myself a girl. I'm not bow sort of woman. I'm in no way a girl. Let's see. This is top notes of peony, cassis, mandarin orange, middle notes freesia, orange blossom and honeysuckle, base notes cedar, patchouli and caramel. Now, you do get a very small hint of the cedar and patchouli, but this is in the main a kind of juicy, fruity blackcurrant and peony perfume. But it's not kind of fruity in that's a fruity perfume way. It's just watery and juicy and fresh, but it just has the florals that are just so clean and pretty. I've compared this one to, in fact, to be honest, it's similar to a couple in my collection in terms of like how it feels to wear it, not in the exact same scent, but it's easier to find than both of the others. So the cotton and almond from the 4711 collection, the Aqua Colonia that I've got, which was a limited edition, you can't get it anymore. It gives me the same kind of feeling as that, but I think I like this one better. And this also has a very similar feeling to something I actually was wearing today, which is the Boom Saffron from Jeanne Arthès. And that one is actually supposed to smell like a kind of bubble bath, like a fresh, clean smell. It's got a very similar vibe, but this one is a little bit more kind of laundry fresh, and I don't know, it's just so magical. The caramel in it isn't obvious as caramel, it just stops it from being sharp, which, to be fair, for me is a miracle, because I find peony perfumes normally, if it's dominant, to be so screechy and sharp. So yeah, I just love this. I love it so much. It will remain in my collection because it's one of my faves. Oh, I forgot to tell you what the weather's been like. It's been raining. It's pretty much been raining, it's been grey, but it did give me the opportunity to wear one of my perfumes, which is specifically so good in rainy weather. In fact, actually two of these are really good in rainy weather. Let's see, what am I next? Okay, so this is one of the ones I'm going to declutter, reason being, I do still like this, it's a really nice perfume. This is Ted Baker W. This is the original bottle. I think they've changed the bottles now, but I don't think they've changed the scent. But with Ted Baker, it's hard to tell because sometimes they release things that have basically got exactly the same name, but slightly different bottles, and then they're totally different perfumes. So who even knows? This is a really, it's not really sweet, as in like cute. It's a really cute, light, kind of raspberry violet perfume. But the thing is, now that I have Ultraviolet by Paco Rabanne back in my collection, it has some similarities to this, but it's much stronger, and it's got kind of spicy notes in it as well, which makes it a little bit more interesting. I just found myself wishing that I'd worn that one rather than this one, even though I do genuinely think this one's really pretty. I just don't think it will be one that I reach for. And particularly, like, it annoys me because I can't ever find a lid that properly fits this. And although I love the shape of this bottle, because I haven't got the lid, I also kind of, you know, it just takes up space. I don't want it in my display. So this lists African violet, Parma violet, fig leaf, peony, cassis, raspberry, orchid, base note, cedar and vanilla. But I think in the main it's a kind of light spring floral. I think the fig makes it slightly interesting. But it's like a lovely, beautiful raspberry and violet. It's so, so pretty. I mean, it might literally be one that I have to take a little decant of, you know, just to have around if I want to smell it or if I get a desire to wear it. But I don't think I need this big bottle. But it's super cute. I think I just like ultraviolet more, you know. I think that's what that boils down to. You can see I was kind of craving slightly lighter perfumes this time around for some reason. Let's put it that way so you can actually see it. Okay, so this is the other one that I think I will probably sell on, but I'll definitely take a decant of this. It's just not one I'm going to wear loads. I was actually commenting on one of, there you go, Sarah May's videos, because she was just talking about 1000 Kisses Deep from Lush. And she was talking about it because she said this is one she really likes the smell of, but it doesn't smell good on her anymore. And it was in the video where her daughter was talking about the perfumes she has that she hates. And I totally understand why a young person wouldn't like this, because although I think it's got some real magic in here, and there's something very cozy and comforting about it, I also think it smells like mothballs. So it's like quite a strange scent. And it's not one that I really want to wear around my husband. It's why I wore this on Friday. Yesterday, I'm filming this on Saturday because my husband is away at his family's this weekend. So I was like, I'm going to be at home. I'm just feeling cozy. And what I felt when I was wearing this one is that I wish I was wearing Love, which is also a Lush perfume. They don't necessarily smell exactly the same at all, but they give me like a similar feeling to wear. But Love is kind of like almost like a cooked red apple with some kind of resins and spices, and it's a bit tangy. It has a similar kind of level of tanginess and sweetness to this, but it doesn't have that mothbally smell. This lasts forever on me, like forever, and it lasts eternally on clothes. So it's a really good value perfume, and if you like, I think it's like, I feel like this is maybe kind of leaning into the slightly what they used to call Oriental perfumes, but mainly because it's like quite resinous. So the notes in here are resins, mandarin orange, osmanthus, apricot, myrrh, citruses, ladamum, caraway and geranium. And yeah, it's just, I mean, you can definitely get a sense for the apricot and osmanthus. But really, it's very orangey, you know, and it's got a beautiful mandarin note. And that, to be honest, that lasts the whole way through, which is really impressive. So this isn't one that I want to completely get rid of from my collection. But I'm always thinking with Lush stuff, if it's something that I don't love wearing relatively regularly, or if it's something that I try and I don't think I'm going to crave it, because they have a slightly, I mean, I have some that are well out of their date, but they're quite natural ingredients, so I'm always worried that it's just going to go bad. So if someone else would like this for like a good price, because this is one of the more expensive ones nowadays, I think this is one that's now in the perfume library, so it's a bit more expensive. So I'll take a little decant. I'm probably going to do the same with a couple of other Lush things that I have, which I haven't really made a dent in. So yeah, the bigger bottles, unless I love them, I'm probably going to pass those on and just take some decants, just to share the love around a bit, you know. I actually have I just listed my sticky dates on eBay, and it turns out a lot of people really want that perfume because there's been a huge amount of bids on it. I was very surprised. Okay, next up. Oh, this is so random. This is so random that it literally doesn't even have anything written on it. So I mean, thank goodness for Fragrantica for actually letting me list this in the perfumes that I have so I can recognise the bottle, because otherwise I would have no idea what the hell this was. So this is a perfume by Mayfair, which is I think a British company that does really cheap perfumes, which is kind of like, they've got one called Tramps, they've got one called Pagan. A lot of them are, I think, dupes of kind of the old classics like Obsession and Number 5 and, you know, those kind of perfumes. They had this. I was buying a musk perfume, which is, I promise I will get around to doing my musk videos at some point. I've just been very busy recently, so I haven't had time yet, but I will do them. And I will start with the kind of regular musks, and that's what I was buying from a website in the UK, just a cheap one. And I wanted free postage. I saw this perfume, and this was like £3, I think. I'm not sure how big this is, whether it's a 30 or what. I don't know, it might be a 40. This is so pretty. I was really surprised. This is called Orchid Paradisi from Mayfair. It's really a lovely, pretty, easy to wear, light, slightly musky floral perfume. So it doesn't list musk, but this has an orchid note in it, which I do think is quite musky. I've come across that before. So the notes it lists, oh gosh, I've swallowed it. It doesn't taste great. It's orchid, sandalwood, vanilla and white tea. So, I mean, I'm already a sucker for tea perfumes generally. The orchid note in this is like a non-sexy, non-kind of sultry version of the same orchid note that I sensed in Lalique Amethyst Elixir, I think it's called. I ended up having to pass that one on because it had that synthetic tar kind of note in it that I can't bear, that kind of... Ugh. It didn't list musk in that one either, but my goodness, the orchid in that is very musky, and it's the same in this. But this, because of the tea, is like a much lighter, kind of fresher, more spring-like perfume. And I think it's one... I mean, it's actually quite sweet. It's got a decent amount of vanilla in it, but it's not like massively vanillic. It's the same kind of vibe as white tea vanilla orchid, except it doesn't actually smell like white tea vanilla orchid. Yeah, it's not the same scent profile as that, but it's the same kind of thing to wear. And if you like the white tea range, I think you would really like this. If you see it for cheap, I think it's great. I can't believe it was only about £3. Yeah, it's super pretty. I really enjoyed wearing it, and I felt it was very feminine, really easy to wear, and just generally just very pretty. And yeah, if like I said, if you like the white teas, I think you'll be into it. Okay, what do we got next? Oh gosh, this is so delicious. This is Falling in Love by Philosophy. This is, I mean, the fact I have any kind of dent in this proves how much I love it and how much I overspray this thing, because this is a 120ml bottle. I was just double checking that I'm actually in focus there. Yes, I am good. So this is one of the bottles I got from Simply Be. It came in a pack of 2 and it was only like £30 or something, which is insane. So it's like, it's a special Christmas version, but it's the same scent as the normal Falling in Love. I love this bottle. This is in my display. A huge bottle, smells like heaven. It is a fruity musk, So it's blackberry, vanilla, musk, jasmine and lily of the valley. I don't get a huge amount of jasmine and lily of the valley. I get a ton of musk, a little bit of vanilla, which comes across more just like a sweetness rather than it being obviously vanilla, and a ton of juicy, yummy, quite natural smelling blackberry. It's just so easy to wear this. It's so delicious. I love this around the house. And although I have to say, it doesn't really last very long on my skin. It will last for weeks on my clothes. So whenever I wear this on my robe, every time I then go past my robe, I can smell it. I mean, maybe it's just that I go anosmic to it when I'm actually wearing it. I'm not really sure about that. I don't know. What is it? Is it supposed to be an eau de toilette? Let me just have a little look. This tiny, tiny writing. It says it's an eau de parfum. I mean, is it really? It's a very weak eau de parfum. But maybe I go anosmic to it. Maybe that's what happens. But yeah, I mean, you want to spray this all over your clothes. It doesn't have any colour to it, so it's not going to stain them. It's absolutely blooming Lush, and I love it. And when I got this massive bottle, I was like, well, I should probably sell the other bottle I've got of this, because how the hell am I going to get through 240 mils of this? But to be honest, I'm not going to send it anywhere, because I'm going to see how I do with this, because I've really not had this for very long, and I've already made a hella dent in it. So for 120 mils, it's nice to not be like scared of massively overspraying something, because I don't think this would ever become too strong. It's not it's not like a golden musk, if you see what I mean. It's not like one of those warm musks that when you layer it, it gets musky, animalic and like overwhelming. This is much more of a gentle kind of bar soapy style musk, which is possibly a white musk. I don't know. If it's a white musk, it's not a screechy one, which is lovely. Oh yeah, okay, next. Guys, so it's very typical that I found this on Amazon, may I add, after I'd already made my video that's coming out in a couple of weeks about Christian Dior Poison and all the dupes that I've been acquiring over the years. So I've been trying to find a dupe that is more wearable and is obviously far more affordable, is less smoky, and has a real plum vibe. What I've pretty much been trying to find is the one I used to wear when I was a kid and I used to buy from the market, right? I can't remember what it was called, but then I saw this and something was ringing bells. It wasn't in the same bottle that this is. It probably wasn't by the same company, because I've seen this listed under a couple of different names. But this is Wild Cobra. So what I've had to do is I've made on the Wednesday, the one that will be coming out is about Poison and the dupes that I already had, and then I've got one coming out on Friday which is specifically about this one. So this is from a company called Saffron or Saffron London. I think it's Saffron. Yeah, it's got a little heart for an O, but that's Saffron, I'm pretty sure. So Saffron London is in this ridiculous bottle. It's called Wild Cobra box. It's in this particular box. I always say bottle when I mean say box. It's an eau de parfum, and the bottle is hideous. I also, when I wear it, I'll talk about it. I also got the Saffron London perfume, which is called Jungle Cobra, and is a green liquid, in a green box, because I was like, I think this is probably tender poison. And I think because it smells like somewhere between this perfume, so Poison, and somewhere between that and my Cavitine de Grès, that probably is what it's supposed to be. That's a much nicer bottle than this, but I'll talk about that one when I actually give it a full day's wear test. So this, I am very happy to report, this is pretty much, I'm pretty sure this is the perfume that I used to wear, but it was in just an upright bottle. This is Wild Cobra. This bottle is very, very cheap, very rubbish, but this smells like the old version of Poison. So this smells like the vintage EDT that I have, right? It has all the elements of Poison that I love, without being as strong, being maybe slightly more juicy, and also not having as much of a really hardcore smoky incensey note. So in the older versions of Poison, that doesn't seem to be quite as strong as it is now. Now it literally smells like cigarettes. Now, don't get me wrong, the bottle I have of the original Poison, as the original, I do have a bottle of the original, but the modern version I have of the real Poison from Dior, the deep dry down of that is stunning. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. I love it. I can't wear it on my neck though, because it's so pungent when I first spray it, and it genuinely smells like fag ash to me. Like, it's so smoky in quite an unpleasant way. But I love the plum, the honey, the tuberose and the spices. I love the general profile of Poison, and that is exactly what this is. Now, I can't find any notes for this anywhere, so I'll just read out the notes for Poison, because I'm pretty sure it's based on that. So this is plum, wild berries, coriander, anise and Brazilian rosewood in the top, tuberose, incense, white honey, cinnamon, opoponox, carnation, jasmine, Orange flower and rose in the mid, base notes vanilla, amber, sandalwood, heliotrope, musk, vetiver and Virginia cedar. So you have this slight kind of acidic punch you in the face smell when you first spray this. You do get a little bit of that kind of spiciness, but it's very fruity straight away. It almost smells like there's pear in this as well as plum, but it has that grapey plum smell in this. The more it dries down, the more you get a bit of the honey. You definitely got like a slightly bubblegummy tuberose. You've got the woods, you've got some of the other florals. You've definitely got some sharp berries in the top here. It's just, I wore it to work. I mean, I actually wore it to work because it's nowhere near as strong as the real deal, but it gives me everything I like about the real deal. So I'm really happy that I found this one, because I have, and you'll see when the video comes out in a few weeks, I've tried loads of things that have been recommended and none of them have given me the sweet, yummy plum. I know that Sarah Mays has a dupe that actually looks like it's a dupe for hypnotic poison, but I think she says it smells like it's supposed to be actual poison. You cannot buy that in the UK. You only seem to be able to get that in the US. I think it's called like Position for Women or something like that. I don't know. It sounds a little bit suggestive. I am a child. But yeah. So I'm really chuffed about this one. But like I said, if you're interested in something that's kind of stronger, or if you like the smokiness, then there's other things that I talk about in that video that you'll be able to give a go to. But I think for me, this is the dupe that I'm keeping. Everything else I will get rid of. I probably will take a little decant of my modern poison, and I will get rid of that bottle, and I will just keep this for general wear, and then I've got a vintage EDT that I will keep for special occasions. And that one, I feel like the smokiness in the top and stuff has kind of burnt off a little bit, so what I get is basically this delicious plumminess. But there's not a huge amount of it left, and I don't want to use it all the time because it's a splash bottle. Anyway, so I'm very excited. I'm really happy about that one, and actually, to be honest, the other one, what I'll just say about this one, there is a very strange, when you first spray it, after like a few seconds you get a slightly weird stale smell, like a slightly weird, almost stale water kind of smell. Goes away, doesn't last, so that's good. But yeah, the other one's really good as well, so I actually recommend the jungle one too, because I think that's really good. But like I said, I haven't given it a full wear test, so I don't know how I personally feel about wearing that one yet, but it sounds pretty good on paper. Now this one, oh my god, the last time I wore this I was not loving it. I liked it, but I wasn't in love with it. But my goodness, this again, I wore it on a really cold, this is Lolita Land by Lolita Lempicka. You can just about see the writing there, but it's such a dark juice now. This one, for some reason, and I don't know why, it's the same with Mon Premier specifically from Lolita Lempicka. In chilly, very rainy, wet weather, it absolutely shines. It is so lush. The vanilla really comes out. I think possibly the last time I wore it, I'd been having a gourmand time, if you see what I mean. I'd got a bit obsessed with gourmand, so I was wearing like fresh cream and loads of really, really, really sweet perfumes, because I've only really just last year been getting into the stuff that's more gourmand. So I think I'd been wearing very sweet things, and then I wore this, and this has a champagne note, which is sharp. It's sparkling, fizzy, and sharp. As, you know, let's be real, it's acidic. It's not actually champagne, it's Bellini. So you've got the sharpness from a champagne note, but you've also got quite a tart fruit in here. You've got citruses. So although when I first bought this was very sweet to me, now it's not as sweet as quite a lot of my other perfumes. So I think I wore it when I was wearing all those other ones, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is actually not as sweet as I remember. It's a bit sharp. But this week, as you can see, I haven't been wearing like ridiculously sweet things. And so, oh my goodness, I loved every second of this. And honestly, in cold weather, this lasted so long on me. I could smell it all day. I think I reapplied when I was leaving work. Another one I wore to work. But I could smell it all day. It's really good on clothes. But this one really lasted on my skin as well. I feel like maybe the longer this is in my collection, the longer it will last. And the kind of thicker and sweeter and stronger it's going to get. So, oh my God, so good. So Lolita Land is a Bellini, orange, Italian mandarin, pepper, lemon, grapefruit and lime in the top. And that's why when you first put it on, definitely it is like, woof! It has that acidity, it has that fruitiness, it has that zinginess, genuinely feels fizzy. Then in the middle you've got white peach, plum, blackcurrant, jasmine, sambac, jasmine, magnolia and rose. Base notes, Madagascar vanilla, licorice, benzoin, white musk, sandalwood. It's honestly, because again of that benzoin and the licorice and the pepper, it has this slightly gingerbready vibe to it, almost like a spiced cake. And then you get this really, like if you imagine it, incredibly sugary, but also very, very tart apricot jam. That's genuinely the kind of vibe I get. More so as I wear this, also with a glass of Bellini on the side, and then some custard. It smells like vanilla custard. The last time I wore it, I was like, oh, it's okay. I probably wasn't in the mood. Smell absolutely stunning to me this time round. I loved it this week. All right, stop going on about it, Cass. Okay, so I also wore this one because it's lovely and I'm enjoying. This is Mon Guerlain Intense, Eau de Parfum Intense. I've been enjoying this one while it's still cold because as soon as it starts warming up, I'll start wearing the one my husband bought me, which is the regular EDP. And it's just beautiful. It's just so beautiful. It has all of the elements that I like from the original, but it's got a much stronger vanilla. So this is much more vanillic in the dry down. I feel like in the original it's more kind of equally tonka and vanilla. I'm not sure this one's really stronger in the lavender, but it's got a load of lovely warm benzoin. Again, it's got the licorice, and then I can get a hint of patchouli, but it's not bothering me in this one. And I think that for some people the patchouli is a little bit much. Again, anyone who doesn't like the patchouli and the licorice, honestly, get Seductive Noir, because that has the same profile, but it's not quite as kind of spicy. It's a bit easier to wear. But I like this one. I think it's so good for cold weather because it's got all the cozy, yummy, comforting lushness and the sweetness that you get from the original, but it's just a more obvious vanilla and it's stronger and it lasts longer. So perfect for this time of year. So this is lavender, mandarin orange, and bergamot in the top. Middle notes are Tahitian vanilla, Madagascar vanilla, iris, jasmine, sambac and rose. Base notes are coumarin, patchouli, licorice, benzoin, Australian sandalwood and white musk. And this is certainly the one that I would advise getting if you are buying a Mon Guerlain, because I quite like the sparkling bouquet as well. Again, I've got a video of these coming out at some point. I've got so many, I've got a backlog, That one's kind of got a hint of the original DNA, but it's then got this kind of really juicy pear in it. It's almost like what I was expecting the EDT to smell like, if you see what I mean. But I think the original is beautiful, but it's just so weak. It's so weak. It's such weak sauce that you'd have to want to wear a sweet, kind of cozy lavender perfume in relatively warm weather to get it to, be worth spending that money on. So this is the one that I would advise to get personally, but each to their own. If you don't mind spending like 50-60 quid on a 30ml bottle of something that doesn't last, then it's not going to be a problem for you. But I've got a bit of an attitude about that. If I spend money on it, I want it to last. So last but not least, never least, delicious. So now that I have the little pen spray of this one that I can take to work, this is Lolita Lempicka Le Parfum, and this is the 2021 version, which I think is the same one you can get from their website now. Absolutely scrumptious, delicious. I wore, as you can see, a couple of violet perfumes, and that is because I washed my hair with Daddy-O shampoo and ultraviolet conditioner, both from LUSH, which is the toning stuff for white and blonde hair. So when I do that, I often will end up reaching for violety perfumes for the few days that I then wear my hair down afterwards, because it's such a strong scent in my hair, that kind of sweet violet scent. that I might as well wear something that matches with it. And to be honest, I also wore this one on one of the days because although it's not violet, it goes quite well with that. It's still, I mean, it smells purple. These both smell purple. This one kind of smells a bit purple as well. I was on a purple kick, and this one does too. Anyway, I digress as per usual. So top notes, anise and cherry. Middle notes, violet and orris roost. Base notes, licorice, white, musk and tonka bean. I think there's way more notes in this. I think it's got ivy and all kinds of stuff, but Fragrantica just don't list it. But I think this one is probably very similar to the original. So it's just a delicious, sexy, so sexy. It's one of my feel sexy perfumes, possibly my most sexy perfume. Because it's sweet and it's slightly syrupy. It's got that delicious cherry, but it's spicy. The violet is just so beautifully done in this, but the musk in this is just boss. It's kind of surprising to me that it's the white musk, because white musk I don't really tend to like as much as a kind of warmer musk. Sometimes white musks are a challenge for me, but in here somehow it's just magical. It just smells like it just smells like you could eat someone alive, but in a sexy way. So I love it. It really gives me sexy vibes as soon as I spray it on. So I love it. That's it. That's it for this week, guys. It's a relatively straightforward week. I've done this in just half an hour. So it's Valentine's Day coming up, and as I said, I'm going to be putting up the video that my husband and I made. So hopefully that one will be entertaining for you guys. Let's see, what else? I can't even remember what else is coming up, but I have had a lovely weekend just doing all sorts on my own, which is very rare, and I'm sure anyone who's married sort of agrees, or even lives with someone, that it's really fun sometimes to just have your home to yourself, because it's so rare. I mean, if anyone's got kids, that must be a miracle to to actually get time to yourself. Last thing I'll say is I have loads of stuff that's slowly going up on eBay. If you're interested, there is a link in my profile, in the About Me bit. I've got a little link to my eBay sellers page. So if you're in the UK, I can only send within the UK. I cannot send perfumes outside of the UK. I'm not allowed to, and I can only post with Royal Mail. They're the only people who insure and allow you to send perfumes. But anyway, I've been doing bundles. I've got loads of stuff up there. So if you've got any interest and you live in the UK, you can check out that page. Apart from that, tell me what you've been wearing. Tell me if you've got any of these. Tell me if you have any good dupes of Poison. If you haven't, have you tried Wild Cobra? I'm really interested. It's the thing that I'm kind of really excited about at the moment, because it took me years to find this particular perfume. It's never come up in searches. No one's ever mentioned it anywhere. So it just was so random. When I was looking for something on Amazon, I just found it on there and thought, it's like $8.99, I'm just going to try it. And it's the plum. It's the plum I've been looking for. The plum, honey and tuberose with a bit of spice. So there you go. All right. Bye, guys. Have a lovely week, and I'll see you on the other side of this one. Bye.